In this video, we will delve into the quality command. Of course, one of the characteristics of abrasive water jet cutting is that the faster you cut, the rougher the edge will be and the more taper you'll have. And conversely, the slower you go, the smoother the edge will be, and also you'll have less taper. Depending on the application, you might be okay in certain areas of your part going fast and having a rough edge and more taper, whereas other areas of the part, smaller holes, finer details, you might want to go slower. And by doing that, you can optimize your cost per part. So we've got some parts here that we can play around with, the different features within the quality command. I'll go ahead and create some parts here. And this part has a slit that we need to cut, which is considered an other object. We'll go ahead and do other objects. I can either click directly on that line, or I can just drag a box around everything. It'll find what it didn't find last time. Hit enter, and now that line shows up in my preview window. Down here we can specify what we want for default qualities for outside cuts, inside cuts, and those other objects. I'm going to change that to fine for the fun of it. And we'll click on OK. We've got our parts in our toolpath now. We can go up to our quality command. So when you first start this, up here in the top left hand corner, you have this roadmap that lets you know what the different colors mean. So the magenta for your extra fine quality, green for your medium, red extra rough. If you want to change quality, you can click on a part, so somewhere on the perimeter of a contour, and bring up this box here. If we want to change quality on, say, this big opening here, paint command is the easiest way to do something like that. First of all, select the quality that you want to use, click on paint, and it's going to prompt you specify start. So there's a little dotted line that's going to the closest cut. If I move my mouse out this way, then you see that dotted line is now going to the outside cut. When that dotted line is basically attached to the cut that you want to apply this quality to, if you want to apply it to the entire geometry, that entire cut, double click, and now that entire cut has the medium quality. If you only want to apply that to a portion of a cut, you give it 2 distinct clicks. And you don't have to be right on a snap point. If I wanted to apply this quality from here, left click there, and then over here somewhere, left click, and then it wants to know which portion of this cut that you want to apply that quality to, because it can either apply it to this side of it or that side. So if I want to apply it to that portion of the cut, left click, and then when I'm done I can hit enter. With that, if you wanted to, you could have up to 5 different qualities on a cut if that were what you're going for. Just left click, and then left click to indicate the portion of the cut that you want to apply it to. Let's put that all back to medium. So we'll go back to medium, paint, and double click. And enter gets you back here. On part, we'll apply the selected quality to the entire part. If I want this entire part to be medium, click on part, and it's all medium now. Clone lets you copy qualities from one cut to identical cuts. We'll do that on one of these other parts, so we'll come back to that one. Filter allows you to filter out identical geometries to apply a quality to. So if I choose, say, fine, and I do filter, so you can use this on basically any line or arc segment. As you hover around the part, it'll highlight segments. If I wanted to apply this quality to all arcs that had the same radius, when that's highlighted yellow, left click, and then down at the bottom prompts you select objects, and you can drag a box around the entire part, and if it finds any matching radii like that, it'll apply that quality. So if we zoom in here, we can see there that it applied that. So choose the quality, choose filter, hover near a segment that you want to apply it to, left click, and then you can just drag a box around everything. It'll find the identical copies. Area allows you to drag a rubber band around areas where you want to apply quality. We click area, and then down here at the bottom prompts you specify point. So you can just left click and create this rubber band around an area, and when you've got that area enclosed, left click and then enter, and anything within that rubber band gets that quality. This will work even going across portions of a cut. So if I do something like this, then anything within that rubber band gets that quality. In objects, we'll use CAD geometry that you've got drawn to apply quality. So I don't have anything drawn right now. Let me just close this and let's just draw a rectangle around an area. And let's go back into our quality command. Click somewhere on one of these cuts, choose a quality, choose in object, prompts you select object, and anything within that object gets that quality. Holes is similar to filter, and it can be used on either round holes or really any closed geometry. Let's go extra fine, choose holes, and as you again hover your mouse around, it'll highlight different geometries that you can select from. If I want to do all holes of this diameter, when that's highlighted yellow, left click, and then prompts us select objects. So we left click, drag a box around everything, and it'll find holes of that same diameter. Other parts allows you to apply a quality to one of the other parts that's in the drawing area. And probably a good time to mention this show on all checkbox down here. If I check this, then it'll show me what the quality is on the other parts that I've got here. If I wanted to apply the fine quality to another part, click on other parts, choose the part or parts, hit enter, and that gets applied to the entire part. So this command only allows you to apply that quality to the entire part. You can, however, close out and then go back into the quality command if you want to make further changes to one of those parts, which we'll do here in a moment. Because the next thing we have here is close. So let's take a look at that holes command on one of these other parts here. Quality, we'll go ahead and edit this. First of all, holes command. As I mentioned earlier, we can use that on things that aren't circles. For these rectangles here, we want a different quality. Choose the quality, choose the holes option, highlight the geometry, left click, and then drag a box around it and enter, and it finds those matching copies. One other note on that holes command is if you don't specify a filter and you drag a box around everything, it'll do all of the opening. If I do holes, select filter rather than highlighting and left clicking, if we just hit enter or done and then drag a box around everything, then all of the inside cuts get that quality. And then finally we'll come back to the clone command on these holes here. Let's say for example we wanted to do half of it as fine, the other half as extra fine for whatever reason. We will first paint that on here somewhere and then left click, enter. Rather than having to do that umpteen times, I can use my clone command, select filter when that's highlighted, left click, and then drag a box, and then enter. So that's the quality command. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Thanks.